We welcome to the Only Fools and Horses podcast, Angela Bruce. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Good times, good times. Yeah, everything's good. I feel good. Um, I'm happy with life at the moment. It's really treating me well. And I'm surrounded by people who love me. What more can I tell you?
Well, what more can you ask for, to be
There you
honest?
go.
So you was in arguably one of the best episodes of Only Fools and Horses, Heroes and Villains. What are
Yeah.
your memories of that time?
Well, it was interesting. I was only there for one day, I think, filming. And I hadn't met David or Rodney before, Nicholas, I mean. Um, before the take, I've got a feeling. And we ended up, it was about 3 in the morning in Bristol. And there was an odd thing of a news guy, a news reporter was on this bridge. They'd spotted him and he had his camera. And of course, that, if you'd got that scene, if you'd got the boys in their costumes, it would have killed the whole episode. And so what they did, spending at 3 o'clock in the morning, bloody freezing, I think it was something like November. And what they did was get the arc lights ready, these big arc lights. And literally before the boys came, they were in a car and they had big coats over their costumes. And literally they drove to the scene where they come out from the bridge underneath the tunnel and they literally then turned the arc lights and switched them on, which would be blinding. There's no one could see past these to get any shot or see what was going on at all. All you'd see was these blinding lights. And literally the boys jumped out of the car, took their overcoats off and ran towards me with smoke. And and so we saw that bit as they were coming out and they got that shot from my point of view. And then the boys jumped back in the car, went down and out. They turned the arc lights round and then just had me imagine the boys coming out. Then it's from my point of view. And so I said, wow, what do you want from me? He said, well, how would your look be if you saw Batman and Robin coming out of smoke towards you? And that was it. I decided what I was going to do and I was not going to even blink. I was just going to be. And that's where that came from. So I'm looking at a camera, but obviously it
Yeah.
seems to have gone down really well.
And it's so iconic, that scene. It's one of the best scenes in Only Fools and Horses,
Yeah, it
obviously.
was fun.
And your face says it all. As you said, you had that face, and they zoomed in a few times, didn't they? I
Yeah.
rewatched it recently.
Yeah. It was easy to do. It was easy to do because you know when you see, when you see anything like that, what would you do? What are your first reaction? If you saw a ghost, if you're something unexpected, you're wide-eyed and disbelief. And all I decided to do was to hold it, not do anything else, just hold it and let them take me around. So I just followed the camera and it looks great. And I didn't see it. I came back from the States. I've been visiting my sister in Boston. And I came back and there's a whole furore because it had been shown like 2 days before. And everybody going, Councillor Murray. And I thought, how do they know? And then I saw it and I thought I couldn't believe the cut, the editing is brilliant.
And it's
Absolutely.
also the music, isn't it? The famous Batman and
Oh, it's
Robin
brilliant.
music.
It's
It
brilliant.
really adds
Yeah.
to it. And we're delighted
Yeah.
to be joined by Batman this evening.
Yeah, I did notice you.
Thought I'd make the effort for you, Angela. Well,
Is that your own costume?
it is. I've had it a long time. Yeah, it doesn't fit quite as well as what it did at one time. It's a bit snug now, I'm afraid. Yeah. Um, you alluded to it there. Yeah, when we Chris will talk to you about this in a minute because he had a really thrilling thing with Batman Robin the other week. We did a Bristol tour, me and Chris showed you all the scenes.
Yeah,
And they were saying when you and Sir David are looking at each other,
yeah,
you alluded to that you're not looking at each other, are
that's
you? It's
right.
filmed differently, isn't it?
Yeah,
Apparently, is
it
that right?
has to be because the
Yeah,
cameraman, if he'd ruined that, imagine what it would be like if they had got that shot and shown it to the public before the episode had aired. It would have killed it stone dead.
mm.
And so that was why we had to do it. And I totally understood. And I didn't get to meet David till I was the same day I was presenting um, Roger Lloyd Pack with the
Medal.
award
Medal.
for the broom. Yeah.
And he did deserve it, didn't he? With that broom he'd kept for 20 years.
20 years and only
Mm.
changed the handle and the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
But
got to meet Roger Lloyd Pack. You didn't
I
act with
did.
him, but you had the picture with him, so that's
Yes.
special.
Yeah. It was lovely. It's amazing now, actually, to think how long ago was it? Because I can't remember. What year was it? Do you know?
96 was it, Chris?
It was 96. Yeah, 30 years
Amazing.
next
My
year.
hair
Yeah.
was dark then. I looked wow. Anyway, yeah, it was amazing to meet the boys. And I met David years later, funnily enough, able to talk to each other. I think it was at Elstree or Pinewood. We were both doing different things. And we were able to talk about that experience for the first time, which was incredible. But that was quite about 10 years later. So yeah, it was an amazing, people remember that. You get a mix of fans. You get your Doctor Who fans, your Only Fools and Horses fans, and your Red Dwarf fans, and they are just dedicated to those things. And if you go to a convention, it's those three that turn up. Those and they sort of all marry together in their love at that time. But the writing at that time, I mean, his writing was exceptional. And it's interesting that we also know that had there not been a strike, because remember when it first went out, it didn't get as many figures because people just couldn't get it. And then because of the strike, I think with ITV, they literally showed it. With BBC, they literally showed it. And that's when people got hooked on it. And I just thought that would have been such a loss had they not been able to have the opportunity to appreciate his writing.
A travesty, really. It would have been. I mean,
It was amazing. The timing of everyone. Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And of course, my mate Paul was in that, Paul Barber.
Are you good friends with Paul?
I've known Paul since 1970.
oh, wow.
Wow.
We met in the musical Hair. He was in Hair and it came to Newcastle where I was. And I joined the show when it came to Newcastle. So that's how I met Paul. That's how long. And he's now doing Murder in Benidorm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've seen him in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've done it. I've not seen it. They've done a second full Monty he's in as well, haven't they, recently?
Yes, he did. I had no idea. I haven't seen it either.
No,
but,
I don't know.
yes, he did something in that. Yeah, he did tell me he got it, but that was a while back, wasn't it?
Well, there's a sequel though. I don't know whether it was a rumor or whether I think they've done a sequel.
I think they did do something, yeah, like that, but I've no idea how it went.
No, and I'm sure he's in one of those mobility scooters. I'm sure I've seen a picture of him because it's years later, isn't it?
How time has flown in mobility scooter. You see, I've just been finished. Last year I did the Iris Affair in Italy, filming that for 5 months, and literally. Just before that, all I was being offered was tenor lady ads or Alzheimer patients or people with dementia. And so you're saying Paul in mobility scooters. I mean, come on.
You're not being typecast then, are you?
You know what I mean? So there I am in Italy, shooting people and flying helicopters and all this, that and the other, and you go, come on, Britain, wake up.
Yeah.
What do you say to him? How dare you? How much money is it worth?
I did. Yes, I refuse. How long?
Yeah. How did the role come about then, Angela? The Fools and Horses? Sorry, did one of the I don't know, Tony Butt or
I don't know who put me up for it. It wasn't. I wasn't auditioned for it. I don't think.
No.
I think they just said, "Would you like to do it?" And I went, "Yeah, it's going to be a laugh," And so yeah, I mean, it comes off the page. It just does it itself. No acting. We say NAR, no acting required. It just is there. It's all written and it was already established. So of course I'd want to be in. It was lovely.
Yeah. We found that a lot of the actors weren't necessarily auditioned for their roles. They were just asked, would you like to do it? And obviously everybody said yes, pretty much.
Yeah. You don't get that sort of writing. Very few people put that more. I'm noticing more now that they are. Neil Cross, who I did the Irish Affair for, who wrote Luther, who's the writer of Luther, and Irish Affair's just come out. And he pays detail to writing. But some of them, if you see, it's just churned up stuff. It doesn't quite happen. But in that day, it's the same with songs. In that period, they really wrote lyrics. And now a lot of the time they don't. There's only exceptions to that, Billie Eilish and people like that. But you don't. That wonderful woman who did Missy, who I love. Have you heard it? Oh, she's great. I can't remember what her name is, but they write lyrics. They're like poets. who write lyrics, who then write them into songs. And I think at that time, the writing in that was so attention to detail. Each character had their own idiosyncrasies, their own, but the timing of it. And therefore there was a confidence. I mean, David had already established himself, and he really has great comic timing. And you just think, if you look at, they stand alone even now. I mean, it was voted, I think the Chandelier one was voted, was that the most favourite one? And I think Batman and Robin was second. But the timing of it, to think about it, I was watching a thing the other day, because every now and again things pop up in on my site, and I was watching Nick and David talking about the director saying, if you laugh, it's over. Your career is finished. You're sacked. And they did everything because they knew if they laughed, which it is so funny, that scene, but if they'd laughed, it would have killed it. And so they said all this life-threatening words, and then they did a perfect freeze, and then the shot but when they looked over, the director was pissing himself in the corner.
That was Ray Butt that had given him a dressing down, but he was the one sticking a handkerchief in his
Absolutely.
mouth.
Absolutely.
I think the Chandelier, Angela, was about £8,000. So in 1982,
wow,
that was a hell of a lot of money, wasn't it?
I remember Nick was walking up the oh no, it wasn't Nick, it was somebody else walking up in a big house with a chandelier, and you know, the people were standing there. It was their place that they were allowing the crew to come in and film, and they were all posing. He looked up at the chandelier. He said, I bet that ripped the arse out of a fiver. Just broke it. So yeah, imagine the chandeliers. I mean, they were in every house at the time, not that size, but you know, everybody had
they only had one take to get it right.
I know, exactly.
That before, and wow, a lot of pressure.
Oh my God, can you imagine props?
Wow. And I think Ray said that the whole series was lost if they laughed as well, wasn't it? You know.
Well, that's it.
So
you can't go back. That's the thing about comedy. I think it takes a lot more than serious drama, because the funniest times are when everyone is serious, when everyone else is deadly. I mean, Trigger, I mean, everything he had to say, it was said with deadly sincerity from the heart, and yet it was ridiculous. It was ludicrous.
he thought he was right, didn't he? And everyone else was wrong. Absolutely.
He had the understanding of the world, you know, and he represents a lot of us, actually.
So the Batman and Robin scene, technically you weren't on screen together. Is that right then at all?
That's right.
Yeah,
they just talk about me when I present to David. No, David and I, it might have been for a photo op.
The medals you did the medals at the end, you're together, aren't you? But not Batman and Robin.
Yes, very brief, but I was only there a day. I was in and out. You know, so it was no chance to get to know the lads at all. None at all.
It must have been, well, it was done very well, because you can't tell that when you're watching it, to be honest. Maybe as an actor you can tell, but
well, no, it's the whole thing about if you get the right guesting and you get the right writing and director and you've got that time, you're going to make it fit. You don't need the time to warm up. In fact, there's less time afforded to warm up now for actors to get to know other actors than ever before. You really, I think for adolescents, when they did that, they had 2 weeks rehearsal because they did everything in one take.
Oh, wow.
But you needed to have 2 weeks rehearsal. And they used to give you that with Doctor Who and everything. They used to go to the Acton Hilton, we call it, in Acton. And you literally would mark out the floor and the actors would all work together for 2 weeks or a week and a half. I remember even with Angels, it was a week and a half and then you go to Birmingham and shoot it. But everybody knew what they were doing. Everyone knew how they related, and the cameras were all, and then the crew would come in, watch it once, and then we'd go up and shoot it. But now, literally, as you turn up and you just do it, and you fingers crossed that the director knows how it's going to be shot, that the writing is good, that presents itself, and you are in the right headspace to do it. And I was lucky. I had all of that.
I think it worked so well because at the time you were getting mugged, weren't you? You came outside the council building and then you had this great scene of, well, not a great
Who
scene,
on
but you know
earth
what I
can
mean.
make a comedy out of someone getting mugged?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who on earth? And I had a fantastic outfit too. I looked so swish, I looked great. And then it was so funny. Yeah, miss. Yes. And then suddenly it all goes down. It's great. It's
But
good.
the girl who confronts you, she was in Emmerdale, wasn't she?
That's
Trisha.
right. She went
Yeah.
into Emmerdale after that. Bloody good
Mm.
actress too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she's done a few things, hasn't she? Married to, I was saying to Chris, married to Harry Kewell, I think, wasn't she, in the end, the footballer?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned the outfit. Do you still have any outfits or scripts or anything from the show?
Please. I remember an actor saying to me once, he said, "Oh yes, I save the scripts from every show that I do and I put it in my wardrobe." I said, "I haven't got a wardrobe big enough."
No,
But the fact is, I used to, and then somebody would ask you to sign it, but then it's too cumbersome and you don't need it now because you could
You've
actually
done it. Yeah.
print anything off. If you wanted, anybody can go into any script that's been done and literally print it off themselves. It's only if you want an actor to sign it. Why would you do that? But anyway, no, I don't keep any. I haven't kept. The only thing I've kept is I think it was Bad Girls. I kept my ID tag.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
he
one.
was in that as well. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And
That
you
was good.
mentioned Red Dwarf earlier. So
mm,
Yeah.
you was the female Dave Lister, wasn't you? I remember in that
I
episode.
made Dave Lister pregnant. That's all I'm
That's
going
it,
to
yeah.
say. With twins. And that was another one that I think that I'm not sure if that was Nathan Turner who did cast me in that, but literally I met Craig on the day, was standing in the doorway and he was talking. I mimicked him because I'm a Geordie. Well, I'm from the north and he's a Scouser.
yeah, so
And so we literally stood together and I mimicked him. We got on like a house on fire and we basically all said yes. And so that was another one. But I tell you, with that one, I didn't understand a thing I was saying. I mean, I really had not seen the show. So, and it was in front of a live audience, which is, it really, it does something to your head because you don't know, you can't play it to the live audience yet, you can't ignore them. But at the same time, you can't overplay it to a film. So you're doing the two. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy, But they managed again to make it look good. But it wasn't until I watched it, I really knew what was going on because I didn't understand half of the dialogue.
no, it was a bit out there, wasn't it, Red Dwarf? It was quite a
Absolutely, of its
yeah.
time, absolutely. And the whole thing, I liked it because for me, for a woman, a role reversal of him saying, I say, well, if you're pregnant, it's not my problem. You're supposed to look after. Well, that was the whole thing about at that period of time that men would say to women. So here was a moment of getting, that comeuppance that he did. It worked, but as I said, I had no clue with the rest of the script what the hell was going on. So I was lucky with that as well.
Were you a fan of the show before you had got the part of Fools and Horses? Did you watch the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it was easy to say yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That was seamless. Yeah, of course. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So that was easy for me to say yeah. No
By
problem.
then it's grown, hasn't it, in '96? It's well established, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think in the early series, actors probably didn't really realise the significance of it, did they, in the first few series?
It was one of the things that, I mean, as I said, I had Paul in that. So he was able to tell me all the background and his experience and what have you, which he loved it. And so that made me feel I was coming, even though I didn't have a scene with Paul, I was able to come in with that knowledge of how it was to get on with the crew, how it was to, you need to know, is he okay? Is she okay? Is there, it's nice to know that you can relax, even though I didn't have any scenes as such with the boys. It was nice to know that I was coming into, you need to know a happy crew, you need to know a happy team. As far as I'm concerned, the crew are as invaluable as the team because they can make you look crap if they wanted to. And so they all looked after me and welcomed me. And as you're a guest, that makes such a difference if you're only meeting them one day, so. Yeah,
so even the when you give Del Boy his medal, that's in a build. It's not in a studio. That one, it's on location, is it?
It's on location.
Yeah.
All my stuff was on location. Yeah, nothing indoors, nothing on.
I think that's where we went on the Bristol tour actually, because it was quite funny. I reacted that moment. They let you do this on the tour. They say, "Who wants to be Batman? Who wants to be Robin?"
You are kidding. And do you run through it?
I'll send it you. Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, please. And did you have smoke and everything?
Not smoke, but
oh, that's a shame. They should do that.
Yeah, that would add to it. But I had to go to the camera and say what David Jason says in the show. Councillor Murray, I noticed you from your photograph or something like that. He says, doesn't he? And then we have to run off down the road, and then it was funny.
Brilliant! It is amazing. Did they have the car, or did they have anything? Did they have any props for you, or just that?
Well, they had the Batman and Robin outfit. They provided that. So
good. Oh, you've got to send it to me.
I will.
Someone was playing the song as well, weren't they, Chris, in the background?
Were they? Oh, good. Yeah. And is that a thing that they do for only Hilton Horses fans, or is it something you organised, or they have it?
No, it's a tour they do in Bristol, so they do it every time you're on the tour. But still, it's still a good thing to do.
They go to about.
I should go down there sometime.
You should.
Action!
Councillor Murray, I recognise you from your photograph. Where's Robin gone?
Now! Let's go! Great job! Bless you!
Was it about 10 locations or something? We went to the bar as well. Not obviously, it was in studio where he fell through, but the exterior of the bar, when he fell through the bar, we went to that as well. Had a drink in there. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But down that street, it was the same street. That's the thing that was really cool about it. And it's not there anymore, but apparently that's where the building was, the council building.
That's right. So it's supposed to be in London. It's supposed to be in Peckham, isn't it? But they had to shoot it in Bristol. Yeah, it's a tough area. At 2 and 3 in the morning, that was a bit of a tough area to go down. It's like the old King's Cross. It was a bit sort of, you had to beware where you were going and where you weren't going, and not steering off on your own alone. But like, it was bitter. All I remember is it was bitter cold. And especially for the boys to take off these big coats on, and to take them off and be running in those out. It was so cold.
And they have the smoke, don't they, as you say? In one scene, there's no smoke, is there? And then when the guys are running, they put the smoke on them.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's tricky to do that. I mean, to marry all that together, but they did it. So that was good.
And is that right? It only took one take, I believe it is, isn't it? With David.
You could only do one take.
Yeah.
You could only do one take because you didn't know the guy who they turned the lights on. You didn't know if he'd then run to another position. So it literally was to get the guys. It was all sort of army precision, bang, that literally the lights turned. He didn't know what was coming. We know where he is on the bridge. And everybody's whispering, even though you can't hear us, this is what's going to happen. It was an hour and a half to set up the arc lights. But I needed to stay on spot so that he'd think this is what's going to happen here. So he didn't move. He thought, I'm in the best place ever on that bridge. And so at the last minute, when they turned that, as soon as they did that, as action for the car to come, the boys to jump out, take their coats off and do the scene, pass me and go back into the car, coats on, away. Because we couldn't risk him thinking, oh, I know what they've done, and run somewhere close. Anyway. There was it was the trilogy, wasn't it? It was the Millionaire, Batman and Robin, and I can't remember.
Modern Man. Modern Men. Isn't it Modern Men, Modern Man?
Modern Man, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't, because I never saw all 3 together.
I was going to say that obviously the last episode got the highest rating ever, Time in Our Hands, but I reckon the Batman and Robin, I don't know the figures, I'm not sure if Chris remembers, but it must be very similar.
22 million.
Oh,
I think it was about 22 million, and the only thing that got higher ratings at that time was Princess Diana's funeral. So they were saying this was the highest, because then did you only have 3 channels then?
You wouldn't have all the channels. You'd have the 5 terrestrial, I think, by then.
Was it 5? But nobody was really buying much into Channel 4, or you know what I mean? No. Oh yeah, it's BBC 1 and 2, ITV and that. So basically it's between BBC and ITV. So you'd never get those viewing ratings now. It's impossible,
Yeah.
especially with everybody can jump on site now, and kids don't watch mainstream television.
No.
So at that time, you had a captive audience. If it was around that time, Christmas time, that was the best time to generate an audience. And
Yeah,
they had their own followers anyway. And I must admit, it gets repeated a lot. Only Fools.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, UK Gold show it quite a lot, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I think BBC sold it to UK Gold for £1.
Yeah, I think they've had a Bonanza Sunday or something, back-to-back episodes.
Yeah, so it costs nothing to show it and nothing to be paid.
Is that true? Only £1?
I think it was some ridiculous fee. They just sold off things.
Because that's probably what people watch UK TV Gold for.
Exactly.
Horses,
all those sorts of rehousing. But the thing is that when it's showed on the BBC, you have to be given a repeat fee of something. I mean, pennies, but something. But if it's showed on UK Gold, forget it. People say, "Oh, we saw you," and you go, "Oh, great. Well, did you see me on UK Gold?" You go, "Oh, great, a charity."
Oh, is that how it worked? We didn't realise.
No, I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
DVDs is different, Angela, I presume. Is it the DVD sales and things, which you'd get like a slice of the cake, would you? A little slice.
I think it's more that for me, Red Dwarf than Only Fools.
Really?
I think. I mean, you go to conventions and I see DVDs, but I don't know if the artists. I don't know about what the boys that listen. The boys will be on a very good deal, but for a guesting artist, no.
I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Mark Hale. He makes Only Fools and Horses ornaments, and he's kind of made them of like supporting actors like yourself. I don't know if he's made one of you yet, has he?
I haven't. That I've been shown things. I've got little ones of Brigadier, and I've had lovely artists' paintings of me, and I think I've seen lovely drawings of Councillor Murray, but I've not seen any. I haven't seen a model.
There's also a guy who does Lego. He's called Zaggy. I can't remember where he's from now. Abroad somewhere, Croatia, somewhere like that, I think.
Yeah,
and he does Lego, and I think he did a Lego figure review as well.
Oh no, I've got to have one.
I'll tell him. He'll send you it.
Oh, I'd love it. I would love these things. I really love them because they've spent so much time. This artist gave me this. I couldn't believe it. I just looked at the detail. I mean, it was just phenomenal. And it was in a little box it was so beautifully presented. And his little heart when he was giving it to me. And I thought, that's your life's work. It feels like, but he was so good. He was so professional. He was so attention to detail, so artistic. It was wonderful.
And one of our listeners actually asked me to ask you about something that he used to watch when he'd come home from school many years ago, Ghost Hunter.
Oh my God.
What can you tell us about that?
Wow, Ghost Hunter. Let me go back. Jesus, that was a long time ago. I can't really... See, I don't want to get it confused between that and him. Ghost Hunter.
What sort of era are we talking, Angela, here now? What?
I love it that you're asking me that question. Here's someone who's born in the 1900s. Why are you asking me these questions? Ghost Hunter. Was that Jean Marsh? Was Jean Marsh in Ghost Hunter?
I don't know personally. This was just a question from a listener.
Sweetheart, whoever it was who sent me that, I'm so sorry. I don't really remember much about it. I'm thinking of him, but Ghost Hunter, I've got a feeling Jean Marsh was in it. I'm not sure. But I don't even remember who I played or anything. I've no idea. Without looking it up, I couldn't possibly tell.
But we are talking about how many years ago? I guess it is a long time.
Well, this is the trouble. I've been in the business 55 years.
Yeah.
I've done a few parts, so it's very
just
hard.
A few.
There's sometimes people stop me to talk to me about, I haven't a clue that I was in. Now, I remember the name Ghost Hunter, and I know it was a good series, a very good series. It was about 6-part, I think. But unless I click into the character, I can't tell you what it was about.
Fair enough. That's all right.
Where would Fools, because you've been in a lot of things, Angela, where would Fools and Horses rank in your career, would you say?
Well, no, I think that was one of the top ones because it got attention. It got so many viewings. I mean, you know, I'll tell you that you do different jobs for different experiences, and some of them, a lot of mine now are because of my experience with the cast and crew. And I love filming on location as opposed to a studio. I just think it's such a privilege. I mean, actors have such a privilege in what we do. But to go out on location, like Doctor Who, to go out on location was just fantastic. And everybody has to be together. Nobody's at home. Everybody's in the same hotel. Everybody's eating together. Everybody, and so you've got this a concept of family.
A bit of camaraderie, I would imagine.
Huh?
A bit of camaraderie. Like...
You get it because you're away from home. Everybody's away from home. That was why it was wonderful for me to do the Iris Affair, because I'm with an Italian crew. My Italian, nothing. But the universal thing that I did was hug every member of the crew. Every morning when I met them, I gave them a hug. And in the end, on my last day, even the taxi drivers who drove us gave us a hug, big burly, waiting for their hug from me. And I got them into hugging because I believe you have to have a connection. You have to have a communication. You have to have a respect. And I think in this day and age, when there's so much divisiveness, where governments literally are trying to divide people, and yet you see, for instance, in the march, the No King's Day, I looked at a bit of it and it made me emotional because it reminded me of when they protested against the Vietnam War, when they protested against the Iraq War. It's people of different places coming together and doing something. And it just gets me. And what it is people coming together and realize there's not that much difference between us. They try to tell you politically that there's a division, that one side can't talk to another. That's not true. Everyone wants the best. They want the best for themselves. They want the best for the children. They want a best education. They want an NHS that works. But actually, we all want the same thing. But we say, oh, no, well, you're in that party and I'm in. It doesn't exist. It's only the politicians who want to divide us. Because if you divide people, you can break them. So you have something, and here's why I'm going to knit it back, as I always do. You constantly have the same feeling when you meet Only Fools and Horses fans, that you can immediately talk to them, that you feel that in that moment we are sharing something that's important, in that we can speak. We've never met before, but we're sharing something together. That's how life should be. That's how it should be. That Only Fools and Horses, Doctor Who, all of them have, if there were a lovely occasion that make you feel better about yourself and your day and your life, it's like a great song. There's certain songs you put on and it just makes my heart sing. It reminds me of something when I felt really good. It connected to me. And so when you're somewhere where someone puts that song on and somebody else also starts to dance, you feel as if you have a connection. And so any job that I do, like Only Fools, like Doctor Who, like Coronation Street, which taught me so much. I was working with people who I'd watched for years, Violet Cass and Doris Speed. I mean, I was not worthy. But if you meet them and they make you feel you're part of a family, which is what we have to get back to, all of us, then that's good.
And with the Iris Affair, is that your latest series?
It is, yeah.
And is that...
It was lovely. It was lovely because I'd said to my agent, that's it, I've left the business. I'm leaving. I can't do it. I can't be offered these parts because people were writing for women of my age as if we were deaf. Stupid. No, there was one, they sent me a film script and it was like this thick. And I had one line, ask your father. And I said, ask someone else. I mean, because I feel that elders have a job and a responsibility to actually share their life experience with the younger people because it's so scary. You've got to say to people, it's okay, this happens. I know it looks like all the wheels are coming off, but they're meant to come off till we start again and we realize what our priorities are. But you've got to offer this voice, this age group. And so when they asked me to do, because now you do self-tapes for things, you don't actually meet people in a room, which you used to do. You now and they've got like 15 squares of people and their faces all speaking at the same time. The director will go, yeah, that person, that person. Anyway, I was so lucky. I said to my agent, that's it, I've finished. I just want to enjoy my life. I think that was the realization I came with when COVID for one and Brexit for another. And it doesn't matter who did what, because it's your choice. But my choice was to remain connected with Europe. And so I thought, look, stop complaining, move if you're not happy, move. And also the fact of the age I am, because as you get older, people are getting frightened of change. I wanted to test my own courage, and it's still there. So I came to Spain, and my agent rang me up and she said, look, I know you don't want to put you up for anything, but if something did come up, and I said, oh, for goodness sakes, if something brilliant came up, a lovely script with my name on it, and it was a really good part, and it was a lovely location, of course I would say yes. 2 hours later, the Iris Affair came across her desk. I was reading it and I went, yes, straight away. I would do it. And I did a self-tape. I did the self-tape on I had to have it in by they gave it to me on Tuesday. I did the self-tape by the Thursday. I had the job on the Monday.
Wow, big turnaround.
My life completely changed. And then I was sort of in Iris. It's an amazing thriller. It's like a chase thriller. It's Neil Cross at his best. And also the locations are fantastic. And the actors, Niamh Algar and Tom Hollander, they're absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of different characters from different things like Game of Thrones and Doctor Who and all different people in that. And I know that Neil was a Doctor Who fan. So it's got that strange sort of feeling to it as well. A sci-fi sort of feel to it with the character that he builds up, this AI. And I was in the background for a lot. I'm security for Tom Hollander, and I'm sort of just taking things in very quiet. And I met Neil in the hotel, and he's one of those writers who writes for actors when he meets them. And he met me and we talked, and he just completely, suddenly I became this action woman. I mean, really, this action woman who kicks ass. It's really great.
That must be fun to play.
Oh my God. I had to go up in a helicopter in Abruzzo in the mountains. It was fantastic. I said, oh, do I get to go in? Yes.
Wow.
I'd never been in one. I loved it.
So like Mission Impossible or James Bond, really. Yeah. And we did driving scenes through Italy, a car chase where they stopped the traffic. And I'm telling you, I'm in a Jeep, huge Jeep, and just missing parked cars, and the police stop all the traffic. They hate it when people film in Rome. Rome you shouldn't allow anybody to drive and stop traffic in the center of Rome. It stops itself anyway. I had a whale of a time. Absolutely, driving cars, shooting, working with all sorts of things. And to watch, because Iris, the hero of the whole thing, she's action woman. It just starts with a bang and it just keeps on going. And it's one of those, a bit like, I don't know, I remember ER when I didn't understand what they were saying, the jargon all those years ago, and they didn't stop and slowly explain. You had to catch up. And it starts at such a lick, and it just keeps on going. It's for you to catch up. It's for we'll
you
look forward to that. Is that going to be on Sky Atlantic?
Sky Atlantic, it started last Thursday. So one episode's gone out already. So the second one is when you get your breath back and go, what the hell went on there?
We'll have to check that out, won't we, Chris?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, definitely sounds good.
Let me know what you think. Give it a few. I start to find my feet by 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's good. It's really interesting. He's quite mad, Neil. He's fantastic where he goes, but there's a lot of humor in there as well. A lot of humor. But Niamh Algar is going to be a star of the future. She's absolutely wonderful in it. And I play Mesky.
Look out for you, yeah, definitely. Do you, you mentioned about meeting the fans. I'm going to a convention on Sunday at Milton Keynes. You're not going that one, but you have been conventions, haven't you, Angela?
I have been to conventions, and I
Yeah.
have been to a convention in Milton Keynes. Yeah,
So, yeah, by the ground.
I don't do them as much now because I don't live in the UK.
Yeah, so it's a bit.
I mean, I
tricky.
do, but I don't. You know what I mean? Not
Mm.
enough. They never ever land when I'm there. You know,
No.
when I'm literally at home and what have you, where nothing happens. And as soon as I leave, something happens. They say, "Oh, will you do Only Fools, or will you do a?" I've only done one Only Fools.
Have you?
It
Yeah.
was mad, and I think it was enough. I didn't look up from 10 o'clock. I did not look up till 6 o'clock, and then we were going along the line signing.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit too mad for me. It was a little bit too much.
It's sort of a different level of fandom, isn't it, really?
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. And so, you know, there's a couple of times now they've asked me, and I've thought, no, because I think that's for the young. I don't think I can do that now, really. Put yourself under that pressure, because I don't like that somebody's waited for several hours and you still can't get to them. Because there was it was crammed, this hotel. It was pouring, it was a little uncomfortable. I don't really like a strong crowd. With Doctor Who and thing, you're behind a table and people come in during the day and it's easy, you know, and then you get your Only Fools and Horses, and it's all, and they've got lots of lots of things to meet, a lot of stars from other productions to meet. So it's a little bit more chill, but when it's Only Fools and Horses alone, it's a little bit too much for me.
Everyone's got their eyes on you, haven't they, in the room?
Just one, and you see, and as the cars start to dwindle, they're right at you, and I just can't. I'm not that good with that sort of crowd. If I can meet them, you know, in a bigger space, and they're chill about where they are, but that was a bit, and I think it's because I just don't feel it's right to cram people into that and make them wait so long and put pressure on them, whether they will or not get their photograph or their book signed, you know.
I think they've streamlined it a little bit more now, where it's like a tables, you know, like one table's called now, and then you know, 20 people, then they sit down, then another.
Oh, that's a bit. It just seemed it was that it over. I remember not enjoying that experience, because of the way it was laid out, and because
when did you last do it? Do you remember?
Oh my God, that must be something like 30 years ago. Something. Wow. It was a long time.
Oh wow, really? Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you went to that one then to meet you.
I went to Milton Keynes with, it was Paul, when Paul used to do them. I don't think he does them anymore.
No, he doesn't tend to. No.
Well, you get to a certain age where you go, whoa, I just, you know, it's easier on the street, or it's easier one-to-one. You've got the time, you can breathe, but I sometimes just get the feeling that it's a bit too much of the time and money feel to it for me anyway. It's just a bit hard to do.
So what was your favourite scene that you did in the episode? I expect you'll say the Batman and Robin scene, but it might have been perhaps when you were at the council's office, or
no, it's going to be back. Oh, that's interesting. Well, they both coming down the steps. And then the whole thing leading to that, because it's like done, and that was the scene. That's the epic scene. That's the best scene in the world, really. You know, because the kids, well, now she went on to Emmerdale, but we didn't really rehearse it. They just grabbed me and we just sort of played with it and see where we end up, but making sure that eventually we'll all turn to David and Nick, and you just, wow. But like for all that, for the limited time that we had, it turned out to be, for me, one of the favourite scenes.
I would imagine.
That's it. It's a bit of luck. There wasn't anything in it that I'd say, oh, you know, I could say certain things that I didn't like about when I was filming Doctor Who, that I go, oh God, I wish we could do that, you know, that again. I wish we could have done. But with that, it was in its entirety. It was just perfectly shot, perfectly acted. The props were good. The boys were on form. It just was, and I think it's because of the pressure of time, that we had not the time to say, oh, can we go again, which can sometimes happen. One for insurance, we say one for Lloyd's, which is your insurance policy, that it's going to be okay. But we didn't have that, and I think that sort of made it work even better. I think it was really good. Good
And Chris,
question.
I think it was one of Del Boy's best schemes, although he didn't plan it. It was it was accidental, but he was after this £5 grand to do up his kitchen flat, wasn't he? Of course, he isn't going to do up the
Absolutely.
kitchen flat, but he'll have the
Absolutely.
£5 grand.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's in
It
grand.
was just all. Didn't they go on to a funeral after that scene when they were
Yeah.
dressed as Batman and Robin?
They think
And he
it's a
didn't
fancy
tell them
dress
it was a
party.
funeral. He thought it was
Yeah.
fancy dress. And
Fancy
you
dress.
go, where does he come from writing these things? It's just
Imagination.
beautiful. Absolute fun.
And Trigger felt a bit foolish because he turned up in fancy dress, but he was in a black suit. He'd come as the
I
chauffeur,
know.
didn't he?
He said, yeah, I'm in fancy dress. And that's the joy of playing that deadpan.
I feel a bit
And just
stupid
think,
now.
yeah, I came in.
He
then he
says
thought-
to Del, doesn't he? He says, "You look good, but I don't think you would have won." Ronnie
Yeah.
doesn't look anything like Tonto or something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Gets it totally wrong, but he thinks he's right again. Yeah.
Absolutely. Lovely. Lovely.
Lone Ranger, yeah. Yeah, no, brilliant. Do you still get recognised for the part, Angela? Yeah, all the
Councillor
time.
Murray, yeah.
What
Councillor Murray. Well, there was one.
every day?
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, no, not here.
No.
When I go back to England.
Yeah, of course,
but I remember somebody shouting from a van. I think it was some strange thing. Oh, that's right. I was filming something else. And it was all, set up and action and this, that, and the other. And this van came by, Councillor Murray! Cut. Go again. Sorry, crew.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of the actors. We
Yeah.
talked to Nabil, who was Gary in that episode where the illegal immigrant comes back to the flat. And obviously, he says every white van driver who goes past shouts Gary. Yeah.
Because you've been in their living room.
Show.
It's lovely the times when there was a woman the other day said, because I was back in England for the premiere of the Iris affair, and she said to me, that's right, she was at the station, she was at the airport coming back. I was checking in to come back, and she said, where do I know you from? Which is such a strange question. How the hell do I know where you know me from? It's but that's how it happened. So I decided to play a little game I sometimes do if I've got time on my hands. I said, well, I've been in your living room. And she goes, oh, what? Are you, were you a school teacher? Were you or social worker or something? I get them really rattled. I'm saying, you really should have tidied up. And she goes, oh, what? I literally do that. And then I can usually guess which program by how they're reacting. And I said, only fools. She went, yes.
You do tell them at least. You don't just walk away when you've said you've been in the living room and make them panic.
No, I think that would be a bit strange. No, I don't think that would be good at all. You see, you are very naughty. You're a naughty Batman, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah. It's funny though, isn't it? Though you find that, like yourself, if you turned up in something in a program, you'd be like, instead of watching the show, you'd be like, I know her from somewhere. What's she been in? And then it suddenly dawns on you, doesn't it? Fools and Horses and things.
I've done that though. I did that with the guy. What was his name? He played a detective, and I slapped him on the back. He was married to Sheila Hancock. Can't remember his name.
So is that Sheila Hancock, Gavin and Stacey? No,
Sheila Hancock. He played Morse, did he? No.
Oh yes, sorry. Oh yeah, John Thor. Sorry, yes.
And I slapped him on the back and said hello, and then I realised we had not met.
You just thought you knew him, did you? Because of his fame. Yeah, wow.
So it can happen. It can happen. But I think that it's very rarely. I've had one at a funeral where I was walking in. Fortunately, it wasn't anyone close to me. I was supporting a friend. And we were going by, and the pallbearer said to me, cheer up, it may never happen.
Yeah. Wow.
Which I thought was a very strange thing to say at a funeral.
Yeah, it could have been a close relative, couldn't it, really? Yeah.
And he just said, oh, I seen you off the telly. But I thought, I can't tell him off because, it would be embarrassing in front of all these people. But if you just think about what you've done, that doesn't make sense at all. And I had one that when I was in Switzerland, and we literally, the Matterhorn was behind us. We were on this thing. It was the most beautiful, just looking at the Alps, absolutely extraordinary. Just the sun bouncing off the crisp snow. It was all beautiful. And then somebody said, it's you. And they'd recognize me off Coronation Street. And just to hear that voice in that location, and that connection was just really weird. It was really odd. You don't put those two things together at all. But that's the times that I've had somebody say her son is coming to work here, train as a doctor, and so she brought him over, and we were passing them, and my partner will always say, "Oh, you've been spotted." She's my go-to. She will literally look up and say, "Don't look up now. Don't look to your right now. Look to your left." I mean, really, because but most times, if I haven't got my contact lenses in, I won't see anybody anyway. But she went, "I know you." So I stopped. And she was an Only Fools and Horses fan, and we sat and we talked and we chatted away, and it was great. And I was able to tell her a bit about here and what her son would, what it'd be like to be working here, and all the things he should look out for. And it was nice. It was very friendly, as I say, meeting one-to-one when you've got the time. And you can talk a bit about how it was to make the show, but I can also ask her about her life.
So as Chris B has made such an effort to dress up as Batman, can you react this scene for us now from Heroes and Villains?
Councillor Murray, I noticed you from your photograph.
It's Batman!
Great. Well, it's been lovely to speak to you, Angela.
Oh, you're welcome. Absolute pleasure.
No, thank you, Angela. Nice to meet you. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Send us a clip of when you put it together.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's on YouTube and Facebook. I'll send you a link. That's
all
great.
right, my darlings. Lovely to talk to you.
And you.
You take care. All the best.
Thanks, Angela.